Welcome to Roanoke County Business Partners. Today we're going to talk about outdoor branding, and I'm standing on top of Bent Mountain. It's in the southern part of the county. People say that Bent Mountain got its name from two brothers from Pennsylvania, William and James Bent, who surveyed Bent Mountain. So whether that's true or not, we know we have a beautiful vista behind us, and we have a great show to bring to you. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
What's the buzz about Green Ridge Recreation Center?
It's a place that's close to my house that I can come and get in shape.
We saw the quality of the exercise environment and the opportunity for our kids to enjoy it and take advantage of really a cutting-edge fitness facility.
The staff here is wonderful. They are very hands-on. They love to help people.
Join the fun through daily admission or membership. Green Ridge, healthy fun for everyone.
Any questions?
What kind of service plan does this come with?
Unlimited.
Can I keep my same phone number? Does it have a camera? What's the warranty? Can I put my party shuffle on this?
Any questions?
No.
For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Pete Eshelman. Pete is the Director of Outdoor Branding for the Roanoke Regional Partnership. And Pete, you're the perfect person for this show.
Thank you.
We're grateful that you had the time to come and spend this time with us.
Any excuse to be out here
is this
welcome.
vista beautiful or what?
It's absolutely incredible.
It is. So, Pete, let's back up and maybe give a little background to our viewers.
Sure.
Why branding?
Why branding? That is a really great question. You know, it was probably about almost 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Local governments, business people, business leaders, they got together and they said, you know, what's one of our greatest assets here in Roanoke? And, you know, we use the analogy, you stop 10 people on the street and you ask them what's unique about Roanoke, what makes it so special. We guarantee that at least 9 out of 10 are going to talk about the beauty, the outdoors, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes as being one of our greatest attributes. But up until recently, that was a story that really wasn't being told.
Exactly.
So here we were as a community with all these incredible things right outside our backyard. But we really weren't telling that story. They weren't being promoted, they weren't being nurtured, and we weren't using them we weren't leveraging them to our advantage.
And you also answered the question about why outside. That's perfect. Yeah. So let's talk about the whole focus of this program.
Absolutely.
And the key point is creating ambassadors. Why do we need to create ambassadors?
Sure. Well, the whole focus of this program really is, again, to leverage and turn our outdoors into its own economic sector.
Right.
You know, we want to turn this into something that's creating jobs for our community and for our residents, but we also want it to be something that's adding to the vibrancy and the quality of life here as well.
Yes.
And so who better to tell our story than the people that are living, breathing, playing, working here? You know, those are the people that really need to recognize how great we have it, because we really do have, you know, an amazing, you know, outdoor scene right here.
You're exactly right.
I've lived out west. I've lived all over the U.S. I've traveled around the world, and we have some hidden treasures right here. And so part of our goal and part of our initiative is to make our community aware of that, make them aware of what's right here, get them engaged, get them healthy, get them active, and get them participating in the outdoors and helping them tell our story.
I loved what you said to me earlier when we were talking. You said to develop the human asset. And then you took it a step farther and you talked about developing human infrastructure. Well, as an economic developer, I understand infrastructure as gas, water, roads, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
What's human infrastructure?
Well, you know, you can argue who comes first, the jobs or the people, which comes first. You know, there's definitely people that will move to an area because of its reputation, because of its vibrancy. And that's the talent that we're trying to attract to this area. We're trying to attract not only businesses, but we're trying to attract individuals, the talent, the people that are going to come here and they're going to fulfill the work needs from existing companies, or hopefully they'll create their own company. But those are the individuals that we're trying to attract, and the outdoors really adds to the vibrancy, and that's one of the really strong attractors that we have here and that we're just now starting to use to our advantage.
And we are starting. I think we're unique in that respect because you don't see it in other communities.
No.
So when you went through the branding stage and you know, you decided that it needed to be on outdoors and branding that, and you realized the importance of ambassadors. And so we're getting down to how we create that human infrastructure, but you're basing it on, and correct me if I don't get this right, human-powered activities.
Sure.
So let's let our ambassadors know what human-powered activities
Right.
are.
You know, it's a very gray line, but we did have to draw the line at some point, you know, because there's only so much that we can actually do in a given day.
Right.
And so human-powered activities is easily described as your typical outdoor recreation components that are relying on your body, you know, your legs, your arms, and your muscles
So
to
give us
do
some
it.
examples.
So absolutely, you got hiking, cycling, paddling, fishing, you know, those are camping, running, trail running. Those are the general things that we're looking at. You know, we're not talking about your traditional team sports like soccer and basketball and things like that. Although those are phenomenal. We need those as well, and we have, you know, some amazing assets regarding to that as well. But we're focused on things that are getting people outside, engaged in the outdoors.
Great. Okay, Pete, we need to wrap up. So tell us what the region covers. Who do we cover? Where to where? What are our boundaries?
You know, what we did, you know, when somebody's out there hiking or biking, you know, they don't come to a city county line and stop and got to turn around and go home.
Exactly.
You know, so we kind of, you know, pick kind of a, you know, circle around Roanoke. We kind of represent the areas between the New and the James River.
Yeah.
You know, to the east and west of us, and then Smith Mountain Lake and Philpott Reservoir to the south, and Douthat State Park and Lake Moomaw to the north.
Okay.
So we kind of represent everything that takes place within that area. That's not to say we don't go beyond that sometimes. Like in the wintertime, you know, we got some beautiful mountains, but we don't have a ski resort here. Outdoor people like to ski and they like to take advantage of that. So, you know, in the wintertime, we'll promote some of the ski stuff that's nearby because you can be skiing within 2 hours of here as well.
That's true.
And so, yeah, we'll promote that stuff as well.
Okay. Well, this has been a great introduction. And so I think we need to take this a step further, and we need to take the branding concept and our new ambassadors, which is our viewing audience.
Great.
And we need to go down to the Roanoke Regional Partnership and let you put them through Ambassador Training 101. How about that?
I can do that.
Okay. Stay tuned. Pete and I will be right back down at the Roanoke Regional Partnership.
How can motorists and cyclists be more safe on the road?
Be respectful. Remember that cyclists have an equal right to the road as motorists.
Be attentive. Look for cyclists, especially when making a turn.
When passing a cyclist, allow at least 3 feet, preferably more.
Wear a helmet and bright clothing.
Ride single file when being overtaken by traffic.
Ride with the direction of the traffic. Obey traffic signs and signals.
A safety message by the Blue Ridge Bicycle Club and Ride Solutions.
Well, Pete and I have left Bent Mountain, and we're now at the Roanoke Regional Partnership. Pete, you're now going to take us through Ambassador 101.
Sure, absolutely.
Where you help our citizens become better educated about all the wonderful assets we have in the region.
And we truly do. You know, within a 60-mile radius, you know, we have access to some of the greatest outdoor recreation opportunities I've ever been privy to. And I've lived on the East Coast, I've lived on the West Coast, I've traveled all over, and we really, truly have some amazing, you know, outdoor assets right here. And so I think it's one of the most important things is that we educate people, you know, exactly what's right here in their own backyard.
And that's why you're chief ambassador. So I'm going to leave you to it, and I'll be back.
All right,
okay?
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the area that we really represent is the area sandwiched between the James and the New River. You know, on this map right here, you know, you have the James River up here and the New River right here with the Roanoke region smack dab right in the middle of it. You know, we have Smith Mountain Lake down to the south. We have Douthat State Park up to the north. We have the Appalachian Trail running right through here. The Blue Ridge Parkway goes through here, as well as the Roanoke River running right through downtown Roanoke. And so again, I'm just going to walk you through some of the highlights so that you can really, truly understand what's some of the hidden treasures right here in your backyard. This is McAfee Knob, which is probably the most photographed point along the Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian Trail is 2,179 miles, runs from Georgia all the way to Maine, and about 120 miles of the trail is right here, you know, in the Roanoke area. And you can access the trailhead for this in about 15 minutes from downtown Roanoke. Now, it's about a 3.5 mile hike out to this point, so it's a 7 mile round trip hike, but again, you can be there in a matter of minutes and get your hike started. This also is a view from McAfee Knob overlooking Catawba Valley, one of the most scenic views, really, in my opinion, anywhere I've ever been. Another one of our greatest assets is the Blue Ridge Parkway. You know, it's a national park. It's one of the most visited national parks in the entire U.S. system, 460 miles long, crosses from Virginia all the way to Georgia. We're the largest urban metropolitan along the Blue Ridge Parkway, and so not only is it great for, you know, scenic driving, but it's also an incredible asset for road cycling, running, and mountain biking as well. This right here is a lot of people this is probably one of our most hidden treasures in this area. This is Carvin's Cove, Carvin's Cove Nature Preserve, which is the second largest municipal park in the U.S. It's the largest east of the Mississippi. It's also home to Virginia's largest conservation easement at a little over 12,000 acres. The water body itself is about 800 acres. And it's suitable for kayaking, fishing. You can go down there and you can rent rowboats and paddle boats, and you can take those out as well. It has about 43 miles of trail that circumnavigates the entire thing, which is a really phenomenal opportunity. Oh, there's some of the kayaking on the cove. The mountain biking there is Outside Television put them in their top 5 out of anywhere they've been. So again, 43 miles of mountain bike trails that are just phenomenal. And everything from beginner all the way to experts. There is something to note about this. There is a day pass use fee that you need for that. So if you want to go out there, you have to pay a $2 parking fee to be out there and use that. That money goes back into improving access to Carvin's Cove. Smith Mountain Lake, the largest lake in Virginia, has over 550 miles of shoreline. So it's a really, truly phenomenal asset, you know, from wakeboarding to sailing to going out there and renting a pontoon boat and spending the day on the lake. There's a tremendous amount of opportunities out there. It's home to a lot of professional bass fishing tournaments. The College Bass, ESPN has a bass tournament there. Oakley has a bass tournament there. It's one of the top rated bass fisheries in the U.S. Also pretty good for tubing. Smith Mountain Lake State Park is also located at Smith Mountain Lake, and our area has 4 state parks within a 60-mile radius, Smith Mountain Lake State Park being one of them. Truly a great family destination. The beach access is phenomenal. Douthit State Park, which is located north up in Allegheny County, is rated in the top 10 outside family vacation destinations. And what's unique about this is it has a lot of cabins that were built by the Civilian Conservation Corps back in the 20s that you can rent. Those cabins have been modernized, so they have air conditioning and heat and things like that, but they have the look and feel of the original cabins. There's also campsites, there's equestrian campsites, probably a little over 40 miles of trails there. And incredible mountain biking. A lot of people refer to this as the Disneyland of mountain biking. And there's some views from the different trails. You basically have trails that circumnavigate the lake in the center. And you can rent pontoon boats. There's a lifeguarded beach there as well. So again, a really top family destination. Claytor Lake State Park, a little south of us, is another really phenomenal state park. It has cabin rentals and a beach with lifeguard access. This is a kind of a unique state park. This is a linear state park. This is the New River Trail, which is over 50 miles of biking, hiking, equestrian path as well. And so that's another great day outing. You can actually camp on it and make it an overnight excursion as well. A lot of people ask me what I view as one of our greatest assets here, and I really view it as our greenway system, our extensive greenway system. We have over 20 miles right now. Actually, in the past month, we've had 3 ribbon cuttings that have extended the greenways. And these are just really phenomenal opportunities for people to get out and recreate, but they also are opportunities for connecting communities. People use them to bike to work. People are out there exercising and getting healthy. And the nice thing about them is it doesn't cost you anything to get out there. You know, just a pair of shoes and you're out there and you're getting active. We have over 600 miles of hiking trails in the area. This map just denotes a lot of those trailheads in the area. It's 600 miles within a certain area. Within that 60-mile radius, we probably have over 1,000 miles of trails. You know, the Appalachian Trail being the most well-known, but we have a tremendous amount of trails, whether it's just a 1-mile, very easy beginner loop to extended multi-day trips that you can do as well. Cycling is probably one of our greatest assets here, is the access to small country back roads like this up on Bent Mountain, to the Blue Ridge Parkway, to the mountain bike trails as well. We truly have access to some of the most incredible cycling in the U.S. This is a picture of what it looks like up at Douthit State Park. This is here at Mill Mountain. Fishing is another one of the great things we have here. If you like fishing, you're going to find it here, whether it's fly fishing or bass fishing or everything in between. We have phenomenal creeks that are stocked. We have natural trout as well. This is up on the Jackson River a little north of here. And then this would be from a professional tournament out on Smith Mountain Lake, one of the ESPN Bassmasters Classics. And the fishing leads to all the other stuff that you can do on the rivers. As I said, we're sandwiched between the James and the New River, which are more of our larger bodies of water. But then we also have a lot of smaller ones as well that offer you a little bit more of your whitewater, as well as stand-up paddleboarding and things like that. This is the James River, this is part of the Upper James River Water Trail, which is a beautiful and scenic designation as well. This is Craig Creek, a little north of Roanoke. In my opinion, one of the little hidden treasure creeks around here as well. It's a New River. This is the New River, and this is a stand-up paddleboarding, which is a up-and-coming popular sport that you're going to continue to see more of around here. And then whitewater kayaking as well. We have everything from your Class 1 and 2 up to a world-class Class 5 stream on Bottoms Creek that a lot of people really don't realize what is here. And then again, as I said before, we also have an urban river, the Roanoke River, running right through our urban core. So here's, you can be canoeing down the Roanoke River and looking up at the star on top of Mill Mountain. We also have a lot of different outdoor festivals that you're starting to see more and more pop up. We have the Go Outside Festival, which is a fall festival. It takes place in October. It's a free festival, includes camping, music, and everything is free. It's the opportunity to come out and demo a bike, demo some shoes, watch professionals doing different things. You can try out slacklining, a new sport called slacklining as well. You can watch adventure films, and you can participate in competitive events as well. Also in September, we have the Get Outside Expo and the Radical Reels Film Festival. And this is just a really unique opportunity. What we're trying to do is we're trying to provide opportunities for people to come together, learn about all the different outdoor opportunities that are taking place. And so this is for about an hour and a half, we have all outdoor organizations, whether it's clubs and volunteer groups, outfitters and guides, stores, they come and exhibit. So it's an opportunity for the public to come in, walk around, meet them, hopefully discover a new organization that they weren't aware of, or a new asset that they can take advantage of. And then when that's over, everybody goes into the Jefferson Theater and we sit down, we watch about 2 hours of inspiring high-end adventure films from all over the world. It's kind of like the Sundance Film Festival, but for outdoor-based films. We just wrapped up the National College Blue Ridge Marathon, its 3rd year, and we created this event basically because we recognized that Roanoke really didn't have a signature outdoor event to put us on the map. We had a lot of events that would draw people regionally, from Lynchburg, Richmond maybe, Blacksburg, places like that, but we didn't have any event that was attracting people from outside of the state. And we recognized that running is the #1 outdoor sport with regards to frequency of participation. And so that's what led us to create the Blue Ridge Marathon. But we didn't want to make a cookie-cutter flat marathon like other communities. We wanted to make it uniquely Roanoke. So we went the opposite way and we made it America's toughest road marathon. So now it's an event that's on people's bucket list so they can say they can accomplish it. And it's really like running through a postcard. It starts in Roanoke, it runs up the parkway, includes the Blue Ridge Parkway, it includes our greenway system, and it's really, so far as in our 3rd year, we've received 100% satisfaction rating from this event. So we're really proud of that. Something that's coming up in September is an adventure tourism workshop. If you're out there sitting there and you're interested in starting your own outdoor business, whether it's a guide service or you're manufacturing, a backpack or anything like that, this would be a recommended course to come and take. We'll have speakers from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. We'll have people talking about financing. We'll have people talking about insurance and permits. But then you also hear from 4 local successful outdoor companies. You'll kind of hear their story. They'll tell you what worked, what didn't, what their headaches are, what they would do differently if they started over again. So this is a free clinic and it's a free workshop. You can learn more about it on our website, RoanokeOutside.com, and keep paying attention. You'll see some more about this coming up. So everything that is here in the area, we spent pretty much a full year compiling all of the outdoor assets into one website so that we can make sure that everybody knows make sure that they can find everything. My job prior to this was I ran an outdoor adventure company, so I knew what was here. I'm still discovering new stuff. So how's the average person that isn't really that experienced in this supposed to know how to find the trailheads, to access that thing? And so we have this website, and it has everything on there from maps that you can download and send to your phone, clubs that you can join if you want to get involved, has an outdoor calendar if you want to see the events that are taking place in the area, and again maps that you can download as well. It has where you can rent canoes and kayaks if you want to rent them. We do a weekly newsletter, so if you don't want to go to the website and you just want to get it sent to you, each week we send you a list of what's happening outside that weekend, and usually we include 4 kind of local outdoor stories that are going to make you better informed as to what's taking place in this area. We'll profile organizations, and we'll also talk about advocacy issues where we need your help.
Pete, this is fabulous. You've taught me so much. I didn't know the things about us being in the top 5 with Carvin Cove and the mountain biking and being the largest metropolitan area on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I mean, I was just sitting there making notes. So, and your website's fabulous, and I encourage everybody to go to RoanokeOutside.com for Pete's picks. And it's amazing what your calendar covers. I mean, no one can ever say there's nothing to do around here if they go to your website.
You're right.
So thank you for this.
You're welcome.
And thank you for sharing it with our viewing audience. And we don't want to keep you too much longer because I know Jill Loop is waiting on you at Green Hill Park.
I do. I have to get going.
And you're going to go out there and talk to her about how this blends into economic development, and you're going to do it on the Roanoke Valley Greenway. So what's better than that? So
and it's a beautiful day outside,
it is.
so I'm excited.
Pete, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Now don't go away. We'll be right back at Green Hill Park.
Higher electric bills, sticker shock at the gas pump, energy can cost a ton, but it's easy to save money and give your budget a boost. Save hundreds of dollars in energy costs by doing just a little. As much as half of the energy used in your home goes to heating and cooling. You can save a ton by making sure your home is properly sealed and insulated against the elements. Caulk window and door frames, wiring and pipe penetrations, and anywhere air leaks. Weather strip around loose window sashes and doors. Remember, do a little, save a ton.
Welcome back. We are here now in Roanoke County's Green Hill Park. This park is 224 acres and it's located right on the Roanoke River. We also have hiking and biking trails here in the park, picnic shelters, soccer fields, and lots of recreational amenities for the entire Roanoke Valley. I'd like to now get with Pete and welcome you back as well. And I want to talk a little bit about the Roanoke Regional Branding Initiative and how that impacts economic development. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Sure. You know, people always ask, you know, how did we get into this outdoors? Why the outdoors? And, you know, I really attribute it to our local governments and our business community leaders that probably about 4 or 5 years ago, you know, they said, let's reevaluate our approach to economic development. And then they kind of took an assessment and they said, what's one of our greatest assets? And as I said earlier, you know, you stop 10 people on the street and you ask them what makes this area so special, they're going to talk about the outdoors, the rivers, the parks, the mountains, the views. And so it's one of our greatest assets that really was not being nurtured to the extent that it could be. We weren't leveraging it, we weren't using it to our advantage. And so that's what we're doing now. We're turning the outdoors, the great outdoors, into its own economic sector, just like health and transportation and manufacturing.
Well, let's talk about specific things that you're doing to market the region with outdoor branding. How are we bringing in new companies as a result of that?
Absolutely. We kind of have two campaigns, an internal campaign and an external campaign. You know, earlier I talked about the internal campaign. That's turning our own residents into ambassadors. You know, really opening their eyes to what's right here, what's around them, and getting them to help tell our story. We're also, our external campaign is really trying to get the word out there, because a lot of people, once you get outside of you know, Virginia, especially if you go to the West Coast, a lot of those people really don't know where Roanoke is. And so that's part of our battle, is making them aware of it, so that if a company is looking to expand or relocate, they're gonna say, oh, Roanoke, that's a really strong, you know, little vibrant community that has a lot going on with the outdoors. Let's take them into consideration. And so, as I said, one of our first steps is turning our residents into ambassadors. We're also also we do what's called gap analysis. We're looking at what's missing from us being known as a vibrant outdoor community. And so we try to make our outdoors more user-friendly. So we have a website so people can find the information, making our trailheads more accessible, improving signage, adding more bike lanes, things like that as well. And then we also recognize that we need to have some really cool events. Things that are all of this coupled together is what's going to hopefully help us attract the talent to the area. And that's one of the big things. We're trying to attract businesses. Yes, we'd love to get bicycle manufacturers and backpack manufacturers, as well as service providers, like rental companies and things like that. But we're also trying to attract the human talent part. The people that can choose where they want to live, and then they move there, and then they get a job, or better yet, hopefully they create a job.
There's a lot of awareness now of this region because of some of the special events that you're putting on, and I think a lot of people are really interested in getting outside, and in terms of marketing for economic development, I know you're also going to trade shows, and tell us a little bit about how that's working.
Sure, absolutely. We attend 2 trade shows a year. They're the largest gathering of the outdoor industry, and that's where basically all of your big manufacturers are present, and they're pretty impressive shows. Some of these displays are bigger than my house. And we go there, and again, a lot of that is brand awareness, getting our name in front of these companies, making the connections with the companies so that when they're ready to move or act, they're going to think about us. And it has paid off. We had backcountry.com, which is located to the greater Roanoke area as a result of one of our visits to one of these trade shows.
This effort is definitely very successful, and I know we've worked with a number of companies that you've brought in because of the outdoor branding initiatives that you're undertaking currently, and I'm so happy that it's working.
Well, what's neat is we're one of the few economic development organizations in the U.S. that is taking this strategy on. And so there's no blueprint for us.
Right.
And so we're learning things as we go. And one of the things, initially we set out to attract, outdoor or manufacturers or things like that directly related to the outdoor industry. But now we've recognized that there's a lot of companies where it's important to their brand or their employee culture as well. And so we're really starting to see the added benefit of that. We were just talking to a local real estate agent who said 3 or 4 of her last relocations attributed to outdoors as the final thing that helped them make their decision.
And you're busy marketing parks like Green Hill,
yeah, absolutely,
and helping promote the amenities that the governments are helping to create, and companies want that for their employees.
Well, they do, and that's the other thing that is really unique to see is it's now become part of our community narrative. Companies are telling that story. They're using, our website and the story to attract, this high-level, employees that they're trying to attract to the area. And so our message is on point, and I'm excited to see where it's going to continue to take us.
And this is working for large and small businesses.
It is, absolutely. We've helped a one-person Greenway bicycle rental company. We've helped some online businesses as well, and then moving up to the larger ones.
Pete, the strategy's working. You're doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for the partnership.
Thank you.
And we continue to look forward to working with you in the future.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for being
with
us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Volunteer firefighters save lives.
Do you have what it takes? Visit RoanokeCountyVA.gov/FRVolunteer.
Or call 540-777-8706 to become a volunteer today.
Thank you for joining us today on this edition of Roanoke County Business Partners. I would also like to give a special thanks to Pete Eichelman with the Roanoke Regional Partnership for being with us today, and encourage our viewers to get outside and enjoy the outdoors and be ambassadors for the Roanoke Valley. If you would like more information about getting outdoors in the Roanoke region, visit the website at RoanokeOutside.com. And if you have show ideas for us in the future, please contact us at 772-2185.